Alright, what is going on and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to be going through the evolution of the Fortnite map all the way from Season 1 to the current season, which is Chapter 2, Season 8. And we're going to be going through every single version from each season and going over the best and worst versions of the map with all the different biomes, all the old locations, and it should be a nice nostalgic trip, so make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video so you can see some of the older and the best versions of the map that we've played on. Also, if you do go on to enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Let's try and get 25 likes, and of course subscribe if you're new for more of these videos. But let's get straight into the first one, which is obviously Season 1, the first ever version of the Fortnite map, and this one was amazing. Obviously, nostalgia does play a big side when it comes to looking back on this, because looking back on the map, it definitely does bring back a lot of memories. But I'd say like the current map definitely is a bit more interesting. We've got a lot more biomes, and you'll see the current evolution like as the seasons go on with like the snow biome, the desert, like the jungle, all that type of stuff. So in terms of nostalgia, amazing. But Season 1 map, obviously it was the first ever version, so it's not going to be too complicated with all these amazing locations and biomes, but definitely was a great version, and obviously it's great to look back on. Next up then we have got the Season 2 map. Now, as you can see, this was the addition of Tilted Towers, and this was probably one of the biggest map updates we've had to this day. As you can see, we've got the addition of Tilted Towers, Snobby Shores, just all these amazing locations, Shifty Shafts as well, Junk Junction, Haunted Hills, the list goes on. So many like new locations that were so iconic looking back on Fortnite. Obviously Tilted Towers was probably, and still is to this day, the most iconic and most loved location. Like everybody just loved landing there, so much action, and it was probably like the best location looking back, because I definitely miss landing there, and hopefully one day it does return as well. But that was a Season 2 map, and again just so much nostalgia looking back on these. Next up then is Season 3. Again, very nostalgic. Obviously not too much has changed from Season 2 to 3. We've seen a few changes, especially like the graphics on the map and like the lighting, but I think the major change was from Season 1 to 2. That was like a huge map update. But this one on screen, this was probably one of my favourite versions of the Fortnite map, because we had some of the amazing locations, Moisty Mire, just before it got replaced by Paradise Palms in this season, and overall another great map there. Next up then we have got Season 4, probably one of my favourite seasons, and again the map was amazing. As you can see, Dusty Divot was our new location. Obviously Dusty Depot got destroyed by the meteor, and we got Dusty Divot, which was a great location. Obviously as the seasons went on, we saw like Dusty Divot get surrounded by like trees, and like just the location changed a lot more. And overall another great map here, and it didn't really change too much other than Dusty, but I definitely like this version of the map a lot as well. Loot Lake, Tilted Towers, like Pleasant Park, like all those amazing locations, even though a lot of those are still in the game. Like we still got Pleasant Park and Retail Row, but another great map there. And the next one is Season 5, and Season 5 was arguably one of my favourite seasons. Again, I just loved all these seasons pretty much, but Season 5 was, it was just amazing. As you can see, Paradise Palms, the new desert biome, replacing Moisty Mire, which it was an amazing change, but I was kind of disappointed to see Moisty Mire go, because I did land there a lot and it was a great location to just grind out wins. You can also see Dusty got covered by the trees, and other than Paradise, not too many map changes. I think that was clearly the biggest map change in Season 5, and it was a great season overall as well, with like the summer sort of battle pass and just the summer vibes. 2018, it was a great year, and so many great seasons as well to look back on with these maps. Next up then we have got Season 6, another great season here, and as you can see on screen, the Kevin the Cube ruins are on the map, Loot Lake started to change, and I did forget to mention Lazy Links did get added with Paradise Palms, which was a great location by the way. Definitely one of my favourite locations in Chapter 1 was Lazy Links. But overall, another good like map update here. Loot Lake, definitely one of the biggest changes, and as the seasons went on, Loot Lake just kept evolving, and it's definitely one of the most changed locations we've ever had. Like that season, like Loot Lake did start to change, but as the seasons went on, it just kept changing more and more, and that location it's just been through a lot. Next up then, as you can see on screen, Season 7, another huge season here, especially with the map. It just changed so much. You can see the snow biome got added with like the winter Christmas sort of vibes, and it was a great season as well. We have 3 different biomes on one map. Obviously just the normal Greenland, we've got the Paradise Land, and obviously the snow like biome as well. So we've got like a desert, like the snow, just a regular like island. Like it's just a great map, and so much diversity as well with all the different type of locations. But yeah, great season there, and some good locations like Frosty Flights, Polar Peak, Happy Hamlet. Season 7 was definitely a very good season, and definitely one of my favorite versions of the map, just because there was so many different biomes on it. Next up then we have got Season 8, and speaking of biomes, it just kept going. We had a jungle biome as well. I think this was probably the map which had like the most biomes we've ever had in like any version. And as you can see, we've got the normal biome, the jungle biome, desert, and the snow biome. So many changes, and I actually really liked Season 8. I liked the volcano, like the Sunny Steps location was amazing, Lazy Lagoon as well, I liked that one. The block got added as well, which was a great location. I don't know why they removed it, because the block was just so unique, and we just saw like new versions of the block every week with people's builds, and I definitely did like the block, and hopefully it does return one day. But yeah, great version of the map there. And moving on, we have got Season 9. And this was just when the map just got crazy. We've got like the slipstreams around the map. We've just got so much going on here, and like there's just 100 places you could land. Like there's so many locations. Obviously all the POIs, or like the smaller locations, like just random buildings around the map. A great version of the map, and again, I just hope they bring back the block one day, because I think that was a great addition, and I'm just sad to see it leave really. But yeah, there we go, that is Season 9 there. And next up we are on to Season 10, or Season X as it was called, and this was the final season of Chapter 1. So the final version, let's take a look at this right now. As you can see, Season X, and again, this is just crazy right now. You can actually see on the center of the map the skull from the Monster vs Robot event. Loot Lake, as you can see, just looks crazy. Like that location, it's just like a new location. It's just covered by like the 0 point, like the grass biomes as well. And at this point, I didn't even know what was going on at Loot Lake, because so much was going on over there, and it just kept changing like every update. But there we go, that was the final version of the Chapter 1 map, and now we move on to Chapter 2 Season 1, which was a good season. We didn't really see that many changes in terms of like the loot, but obviously we got a complete new map, so you can't really complain that much. And as you can see the map on screen, I do miss the old map, but the current map is still pretty good. And this one, obviously, like we had, well, a load of new locations. We still had Retail Row, Pleasant Park, and Salty Springs, but we got all new locations, like the Sweaty Sands location, the like Moisty Mire 2.0 pretty much with Slurpy Swamp, Misty Meadow, all the great locations there. And now we move on to Chapter 2 Season 2. In my opinion, the best season of Chapter 2 we've had so far. I love this season with like the agency and the mythic weapons and the storyline as well, and the map was just as good as you can see on screen. The agency got added, and we saw so many changes, and obviously throughout the season we did get the addition of Deadpool's yacht and a few more changes there. But at the start of Season 2, definitely one of my favourite versions of the map we've had, and one of my favourite seasons as well. It was just a load of fun, and I'm definitely like looking forward to seeing how the map changes, especially with Chapter 3. I wonder if we're going to get like, looking forward to seeing what's coming though. Okay, so now we move on to Chapter 2 Season 3, and this was by far the craziest version of the map we've ever had. As you can see, the huge flood took over, and like all the locations just got like covered by the water. The bottom right of the map didn't really get interrupted that much, that was the same, but the rest of it all got affected by the flood. And obviously this was because of the live event. There's a cool like version of the map, and I do respect the Epic Games tried something different, and it was something outside of the box, you know, in terms of what they could have done with it, because a flood definitely makes it more interesting, even though it was a bit more difficult to play on with like build battles. I did like the sharks though, they were a good way to like get around the map because of the flood. You could definitely like, you know, transport and still rotate, you know, just as easy if not easier. It was different, but definitely something that was a bit more difficult to play on, but overall pretty good. Okay, so next up we have got Chapter 2 Season 4, and this was the whole Marvel season, and I really liked this season as well. In terms of the map updates, as soon as the season launched, we didn't really see that many changes. But obviously, as we got some new weekly updates, we did see some new changes to the map and some new locations. First up, Frenzy Farm did get replaced by Stark Industries, which was good, but also a rip in the chat, because, you know, rip Frenzy Farm customs. So rip Frenzy Farm, hopefully it comes back one day, even though I doubt it would, because why would they bring it back? But Chapter 2 Season 4, a good season. Definitely liked the battle pass and like the map updates as the season went on, and overall I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I did really enjoy the season as well, especially with like the Superman like mythics, not the Superman but the superhero mythics. They were amazing. Next up then, Chapter 2 Season 5. And as you can see on screen, the whole center of the map got changed a lot, and we did also see the like jungle location in the top left corner. I can't remember the name of it now. Like the Colosseum, more interesting with the storyline, and overall some like big map changes, but other than like the sand and the other location, there wasn't really that like much changes with the map. Next up then we have got Chapter 2 Season 6, and again some pretty good changes here. As you can see, it's definitely changed a lot more, and you can see like the biomes get changed with like the whole primal season, I believe this was, and in terms of the map, it definitely changed a lot this season. Final 2 versions of the map and the final 2 seasons. Next up we have got Chapter 2 Season 7. And overall this was a great season again. I definitely preferred a lot of the other ones in Chapter 2 over it, but in terms of the map as well, as you can see, it's kind of gone back to normal now. The primal season's gone and that biome left. And this version of the map definitely reminds me of Chapter 2 Season 1. Like all the locations are pretty much the same, other than like Coral Castle and 1 or 2 others. But overall, from Chapter 2 Season 1 to Chapter 2 Season 7, the map has barely changed, especially if you compare it to Chapter 1 as well. Like in Chapter 1 we saw so many changes like in the first few seasons, and like all the new biomes and stuff, and it's changed like so much more. And again, it has changed a little bit from the Kevin the Cube this season, which is pretty cool. Obviously there's like a lot of like different versions of Kevin the Cube around the map, but overall it's pretty good, but definitely not my favorite. But that is the video complete, and that is the list complete, going through every single version of the Fortnite map from every season. Now we're going to move on to my favorite and least favorite versions of the map. Okay, so in terms of my favorite version, it's definitely between Chapter 1 Season 5 and Chapter 1 Season 4. Now I think they were both very similar. Obviously Season 5 was when we had the desert biome get added. I think I'll probably go with Season 5. I did like Moisty Mire a lot, but you can't deny the fact that Paradise Palms and the whole desert biome was amazing. So I'd say my favourite was Chapter 1 Season 5. And in terms of my least favourite, I'll probably say Chapter 2 Season 5 actually, so it's both the Season 5s from each chapter. I think Chapter 2 Season 5 is my least favourite. Nothing particularly bad about it. I think I definitely just preferred the other versions of the map a little bit more. But that's the video concluded. If you did enjoy it, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, comment down below as well your favourite and your least favourite versions of the map, or just comment like the season. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.